It's January of 2023. Amtrak has just dropped a major sale on their USA Railpass. The Railpass allows you to take 10 trips of any length in coach. Normally going for $500, it's already a great deal, but with the sale, one pass was just $300. We had a decision to make. A very easy decision. For weeks, we dreamed and discussed different destinations. We booked accommodations, made lists of the food we wanted to try, and got more excited as the day of our departure got closer and closer. We were about to see the United States like never before. The first train we are taking is the famous California Zephyr, which runs the 2,400 miles between Chicago, Illinois and Emeryville, California. We are splitting the journey into two parts, spending a day in Salt Lake City, Utah. Today's video will cover our first day on the train, and next week we'll climb up into the Rockies as we cross Colorado and Utah. Our journey starts at Chicago Union Station, where many great videos on this channel have begun. Today, however, this place looks a little different. Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Trains Are Awesome video. I'm Thom.
And I'm Lindsey.
And we are at the world's most beautiful racquetball stadium today. Coincidentally, this is also Chicago Union Station, and we're about to get on a train here. For some reason, the main hall of the building had been converted to host a racquetball tournament. That's squash for my European viewers. It's the latest episode in what has been a pretty chaotic year here at Union Station. Amtrak has been making passengers boarding trains from the South Concourse line up in the main hall rather than at the gates, a process that I'm not a huge fan of. Hey Lindsey, our first leg is to Salt Lake City, Utah. You ever been there?
Nope.
Neither have I. What train are we taking?
We're taking the California Zephyr.
All right, how are you feeling?
I'm a little excited but nervous. I want to get in the front of the line so we can get a good seat.
Well, hopefully they'll call us soon. Moments later, they called us to line up. Is this front enough for you? As we marched towards the platforms, any annoyed feelings quickly melted away. Boarding a train here at Union Station is just one of my favorite feelings in the whole world.
Train 5.
Thank you. Knowing you're about to spend time on a train, cruising through the vast American landscape, it's absolutely thrilling. There's the famous California Zephyr. This time in particular, as it was the start of a journey much grander in scale than anything we had ever taken before. Yeah, this is great. Anywhere is good. The California Zephyr is made up of Amtrak Superliner cars. These are double-deck cars, and while there are some seats downstairs, the majority of the seating area is on the upper level. Seating is first come, first served. So I'll review them in a little bit, but for now, it looks like we're moving. Oh wait, that's the train next to us. Now we're moving. We're moving. Almost immediately after leaving Union Station, our train turns west and onto tracks owned by the BNSF Railway. We'll stay on BNSF tracks all the way until Denver, Colorado. The initial section through the Chicago suburbs is technically called the Chicago Subdivision, but it's more commonly known as the BNSF Racetrack. Besides freight trains and Amtrak, it is used by many Metro commuter trains every day. The conductor has scanned our tickets, time to check out the seat. The best part about Amtrak long-distance trains is the leg room. It's truly incredible how much you get. The seats also come with a footrest as well as a leg rest that flips out from under the seat. There are two power sockets in the side wall, under the window. Tray tables come down from the seat in front of you, and pulling this lever activates the very generous recline. There are large luggage racks by the ceiling. I've even heard stories of people sleeping in these. Not something I'm about to try out myself. Now let's head downstairs, which is where you'll find all the bathrooms. Since we've just left, the bathrooms are still in excellent condition, clean and fully stocked. So far so good. To the other people on the train with me today, let's make it a team effort to keep these places clean. Large luggage, like suitcases, can be stored downstairs. Additionally, at some stations, it is an option to check luggage and have it travel in a baggage car. Our first stop is Naperville, a western suburb of Chicago. A few minutes later, we pass through Aurora Station, the end of the commuter line. Despite being the second largest city in Illinois, Aurora sees no Amtrak service. Service was shifted to Naperville in 2013. This is a strange Amtrak practice, in my opinion, where service to a large city is denied, with the argument being that passengers can travel to a nearby large city to get on the train. A similar example exists in Minneapolis. I think if tracks go straight through a population center with large enough demand, a stop should exist. But that's just me. Aurora is just kind of a shining example because the tracks are right there.
A pleasant good afternoon and a welcome aboard Amtrak's California Zephyr. I'd like to invite you to join me in the Sightseer Lounge car this afternoon. Our lounge car is located center of our train. We're just forward of the coaches, and to the rear, from the sleeping cars and dining car, is the car with the big floor-to-ceiling wraparound windows upstairs. That's why we call it our Sightseer or observation car. But it's also the place for lighter food and beverage. If you take the staircase at the center of the lounge downstairs, that's where you'll find me and our food and beverage counter. I do have a selection of hot and cold sandwiches, snacks.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, again, just a few more minutes, our next scheduled station stop. Princeton, Illinois, this is Princeton. If you're leaving us at Princeton, now is the time to look around your seat.
Almost 2 hours in, we've pretty much gone halfway through Illinois. Now, the best part about an Amtrak trip out west is the Sightseer Lounge, the observation car. I've been in them before. This is Lindsay's first time, so... The Sightseer Lounge, as these observation cars are officially called, are my absolute favorite part of taking Amtrak. The windows let you take in all the views. There's a variety of seating options, anyone is welcome, and it is a great place to meet people. Downstairs is the cafe, which I will show you in a little bit. Since the food prices can be a bit high, Lindsay and I came prepared with a bag full of snacks. And the cafe attendant told me I was allowed to go behind the minibar and fill up my water bottle whenever I wanted. So we've settled into the observation car, already met a bunch of nice people. Let's spend the rest of rural Illinois talking a little bit about what the California Zephyr actually is. I think the biggest question is, what is a Zephyr? Well, you see, the tracks we are on today used to belong to the Chicago, Quincy, and Burlington Railroad. In the 1930s, they developed a streamlined diesel train set, a concept that was quite revolutionary back then. This train was called the Burlington Zephyr, named after Zephyrus, the Greek god of the west wind. The radical design drew a lot of attention, and as the CB&Q ordered more sets, other companies began to order them as well. The CB&Q began naming their flagship passenger services the so-and-so Zephyr, and this naming continued even after the actual Zephyr train sets were retired in 1960. In 1971, when many private railroads abandoned their passenger trains, the U.S. government took over in the form of Amtrak. For the first year, Amtrak operated two separate trains, the Denver Zephyr and the City of San Francisco. A year later, they were merged to form the San Francisco Zephyr. In 1983, when a significant part of the route changed, the train was once again renamed the California Zephyr. Why did the route change? You'll have to find out in next week's video. Amtrak honors the legacy of the Zephyr trains in the name of the California Zephyr. Thus, a piece of railroad history lives on. So occasionally they'll have these things that are called fresh air stops or smoke stops if you don't like breathing in fresh air. And this is where the train stops for a few minutes. They let passengers in and out of the train just so that you can stretch your legs, enjoy the weather if it's nice, and breathe a little bit. This is our first fresh air stop, and it's Galesburg, Illinois, the last station in Illinois before we cross into Iowa, and also where our train splits off from the routes of the Southwest Chief, the Illinois Zephyr, and the Carl Sandburg.
Next scheduled station stop in about 45 minutes will be Burlington, Iowa.
Like I briefly mentioned before, Galesburg is a major junction for passenger rail. Between Chicago and Galesburg, the route is shared with the Illinois Zephyr and the Carl Sandburg, sponsored by the state of Illinois, as well as the Southwest Chief to Los Angeles. I've been on all those services and have published videos on them, so be sure to check those out. But after Galesburg, the Illinois state-sponsored services head south to serve Macomb and Quincy, the Southwest Chief heads southwest towards Fort Madison, Kansas City, and LA, and we continue west, our next station stop being Burlington, Iowa, across the Mississippi River. Lindsay has familiarized herself with the cafe car. What'd you get?
Coke Zero.
Alright, so our next station is in Iowa. It's the city of Burlington. Can you think of something or someone named after Burlington?
The BNSF line.
Yep, the B in BNSF stands for Burlington. There was also just a severe thunderstorm watch issued for this area, so that'll be interesting. There were definitely ominous clouds looming above us, dropping the occasional rain. We dash in and out of the storm several more times this evening. By the time we've reached the Mississippi River, we've traveled 200 miles of the 1600 to Salt Lake City, or the 2400 to Emeryville.
On the roads is the Mississippi River Bridge. Just on the other side of this bridge, our next station stop, Burlington, Iowa.
The Mississippi is not the longest river in the US, but it is arguably the most famous. I think it has a symbolic meaning. Crossing it feels like we've truly begun our journey west. The bridge we use to cross the Mississippi is the Burlington Rail Bridge. It was opened in 2010 and is the third bridge to stand on this spot. The original opened back in 1867. Burlington is a city of 23,000 people with a significant history. The Sauk and Fox people were the first to live here, naming the area Shakakan. Lieutenant Zebulon Pike, the guy they named Pikes Peak after all the way in Colorado, became the first white American to set foot here. By 1838, Burlington was the capital of Iowa Territory. Iowa today is known as the Hawkeye State, a name that came from a newspaper published right here in Burlington. And among rail fans, it is famous, of course, for being one of the namesakes of the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy Railroad. When the CB&Q merged with several other railroads, they formed Burlington Northern. In 1996, it became the Burlington Northern Santa Fe, BNSF. It is interesting to me that the largest railroad in the US is named after such a small town. On the subject of small towns, the California Zephyr has a total of 5 stations in Iowa. Ottumwa is the largest of these, with a population of 25,000. What that means, however, is that there are 22 cities in Iowa with a larger population that do not have any passenger rail service. These include Des Moines, Sioux City, Cedar Rapids, and Davenport.
For the next 20 miles, we're only allowed to go 40 miles per hour because of high wind warning. It's very tough.
It may look like the sun is setting, but it's really not. Time to head down to the cafe. I know exactly what I'm going to order. The cafe is located on the bottom floor of the Sightseer Lounge. This isn't the dining car. I'll show you that in a future video. But the cafe serves some lighter food items. Snacks, burgers, salads, and drinks. You get the picture. I come bringing food. So I got the Asian noodle salad. If you've watched my Pacific Surfliner video, you know that I absolutely love this thing, and I was thrilled to find out that they have it on all the national routes now. After the previous darkness, here at Ottumwa we get one last chance to soak up some sunshine. I really appreciate that Amtrak adds these stops. Gotta go.
And I'm gonna get out there and just kind of talk to some people, but I just kind of want you to know that's why. Okay, so you would be awake for a while. Okay, please do, because I'm gonna.
Our first sunset on this Amtrak trip. Taking the train out west is such a relaxing experience. Some late night storm watching. As the train chugs through Iowa and eventually Nebraska, the weather takes a turn for the worse, but we are just cozily observing it all from the safety of the train. It's been a good first day. It's pretty much midnight and we're slowly going through western Iowa. We should have been in Omaha by now, but there was a broken down freight train in front of us. I was gonna stay up till Nebraska. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how far we are. At any rate, we're gonna wake up tomorrow morning in Colorado, stop in Denver, and then make our way through the Rocky Mountains, and I am so excited about that. See you tomorrow. With the pillows and blankets we brought from home, our seats turn into a makeshift bed. Thanks for coming along on our first day. Next week, it's time for the breathtaking day 2 aboard the California Zephyr. Find out why everybody says this is America's most scenic train as we travel from Denver to Salt Lake City. Subscribe to Trains Are Awesome so you don't miss it.